Okay, hi there. This is a demonstration of play of the game Ides of March by John B. Fierer. Um, uh, an excellent card-driven game. It's print and play, can be got very cheaply and not too expensively printed out. But anyway, this is a demonstration. I'll go into sort of some overview of the game in another video. So we are about to start the fifth game turn. I aim to do the whole game turn in this video. It's the fifth game turn out of 9 in the base game, so we're not playing the Rubicon module, which is Caesar versus some other player. So we have three factions. We have Marcus Antonius here. They are the blue faction, so they're represented by these blue political control markers and blue fleets. Their leaders you cannot tell because the leaders all have the same colour, because depending on, there's other scenarios that can be played apart from these two, and so different leaders could be in different factions in different scenarios, and some leaders could actually, in this scenario, could be in different factions. But anyway, Antony himself is here, and he has Marcus Aemilius Lepidus with him here, and they each have a fleet with them. They have a fleet parked in Messina in Sicily, this being Italy here, and they also have Sextus Pompeius, Pompey's son, with a fleet here in Cyrene, in Cyrenica, and they have sent a legate, which is like a non-distinguishable general, sort of generic general, with a fleet over here in Cyprus. Their victory points are standing at 7, and their dignitas points are standing at 8. Dignitas is important for gaining recruitment and determining some political control. Then we have Gaius Octavian. He's the sort of pink bull faction, and he is positioned here, right next to Antony in Campania. Antony's actually in Rome himself. So Octavius is here. He has Decimus Brutus, his main general there, who has a siege train and has some fleets here. He also has Plancus up here in Transalpine Gaul, and he has Agrippa here, who is besieging Perusia, which is in the control of the last faction. And Octavius is named the enemy of the state, which means that well, the last turn he's the enemy of the state. We'll see if it changes in this. He had the largest largest number of legions. That makes you the enemy of the state. So you lose some dignitas for that, and the others can hit on you and gain dignitas. And then finally we have Brutus himself, Marcus Junius Brutus. He is positioned here in Macedonia at Dyrrhachium, and he hasn't actually moved in this game. He's been busy spreading political control, but he does have his own generals. He has Cassius, who started here in Syria. He also hasn't moved, and then he has Pollio, who's in further Spain here, and Brutus is the yellow markers, so you can see where his influence is. Publius Venditus, where did he go? He's moved here. He was up here, and Agrippa sent him packing. He's moved down here with a fleet. And then Publius Cornelius Dolabella, who's here in Asia, in Sardis at present. So those are the three factions. You also see a lot of green on the board. These are independent provinces, so they've not been conquered by one of the three factions, or sort of controlled politically by one of the three factions. And they are spread by these which are barbarians. Like you have the Gauls here, the Spanish here, the Germans here, and we have the Parthians here and here. We also have the Sarmatians who have not come on. They can come on in this game, in card play. And also we have the Illyrians here. Now, what we just looked at before last turn was that Brutus has had a massive empire. He has something like 23 victory points, which for provinces you get different victory points. So, for example, you have 3 for Macedonia, and 3 for Syria here, and 4 for Asia, and 4 for Achaia here, and so forth. So he was spread out well in this region. He hadn't been moving and fighting, but he had been sending out political control and gathering generals. And then he took, then the Parthians came in and the Illyrians came in and took a lot of his provinces away, and then he also, for the upkeep of the legions, he lost a lot of political complaints and lost a lot of provinces there. So he's shrunk down to 9 victory points, and Octavius is on 8 victory points, and as I said, Mark Antony's on 7 victory points. But Mark Antony has the biggest dignitas at 8. Then we have Octavian on 2 and Brutus on 3. So without further ado, I'll get on with this turn. The first thing you do is determine the turn order. The faction with the lowest victory points decides. So that is the one with the highest dignitas has the lowest victory points. That is Mark Antony. He decides the turn order. So he doesn't know what cards he has yet, so he can't sort of dictate it upon that. But he's going to position himself last. That's often the best way to put it. And he's going to put Brutus first and Octavius second. So what happened last term was that Antony and Octavian agreed that because Brutus was getting such a large lead, they agreed to stop fighting each other, to concentrate themselves against Brutus. So Brutus, that's not such the case now. Actually, Octavian is winning on victory points, but only just. But he's still putting Brutus first, so that, and then he wants Octavian to go. So he's hoping Octavian will continue the pressure up against Brutus. Because the thing is, if you're spending operations points and events fighting someone, you don't have the operations points to spread military influence, and that was what was happening. Because Brutus was not being fought, he was able to spread a lot of political influence. It's going to be different now that the barbarians are out. He's going to have to start dealing with those. Okay, so that's the turn order decided. Then we designate the enemy of the state. As I said, that's a faction with the greatest number of legions. You can have auxiliaries as well as legions, but that's just legions. So let's see. Antony has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with his legates, and 5 with Lepidus. That's 3 with Lepidus. That's 8. 2 with Sextus Pompeius, just there. So that's 10, and then another 9 with himself. So he has 19 legions. Octavian has 4 with one of his legates. He has 1 himself. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Agrippa actually only has 1, but the others have sort of 5 or so each. And then Brutus has 3 with his legates. Longinus Cassius here has 6, that's 9. Himself here has 5, 6, that's 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So it's him again. He is the enemy of the state, which means he becomes outlaw and he loses 2 dignitas. So that means Octavian goes up 2 dignitas because he had lost 2 because he was the outlaw, and now Brutus goes down 2. And I'm just going to check that because there was also some Senate actions. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so he's actually on 2. Octavian is on 1 for Cicero, who is with him. 1 for being Caesar's there, 1 for a standing ovation he got in the Senate. So he has a net of 3. Okay. And then Mark Antony has 1 for being Caesar's, or having been Caesar's lieutenant, 1 because he's got Lepidus with him, the Pontifex Maximus. So that's 2. Then he's also got SPQR, which I think is the kind of control of the Roman proper, the Roman populace. That gives him 3 dignitas. He has 2 because he had majority of the Senate, which was a card play. He begins with the SPQR, and I think it could be wrested from him with a card play. And he had a standing ovation in the Senate, so he's on 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. So he has 7 dignitas, that's correct. So, now we deal the strategy cards, and we're on turn 5, so there should be 8 cards each. There's a card you can see laid out here, and that is to show that Antony played the event Antipater and Herod. So the Judean ruler allies with your faction, which means that any combats you do in Egypt, Judea, Syria or Arabia, any down here, you get a column shift in your favour until you lose a battle whilst using that card with Antipater and Herod. Okay, is that enough cards? The game does come with rather nice card backs and so forth, but I just quickly and cheerfully printed it up like this without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's 8. Now, so that's his, these are Octavians, and these are Brutus's. And so Brutus is going to go first, and we start the strategy phase. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phases after that, but they're just very short, kind of like upkeep and political checks and attrition and so forth phases. Okay, so it's a standard card-driven game in that you have operations points and events, and there's some cards which are surprise cards, so you can play them out of turn, and some are bonus cards. Let's play this one. The German tribes cross the Rhine. So you can activate the Germans. They're actually already activated, and then you can move them. So this is going to give Octavian something to think about, because Octavian's hoping to get back Transalpine Gaul. So he essentially wants these two distracted while he recovers his lost political control. So I think that's quite a good card to play. Gives him 1 operation points, and he can do the event as a bonus. So with the 1 ops points, he's going to put out an all-important, because the trouble is that they all have very large armies, and when you have armies, it costs you political control markers at the end of the turn, and so they need to start fighting with their armies, or else they're going to start losing political control. You know, the populace wants to see some result for supporting and sending their sons and so forth off into these large armies. So I think what that's going to translate out with this one, Dolabella is going to fight the Parthians here. So instead of putting out a PC marker, we'll do that. So Dolabella is a 1 general, so he can be activated with 1 ops point, and he converts a hostile PC marker to one of its faction every space entered during movement. So presumably he converts that straight away, even though the enemy's there, which is great, and gets to fight the Parthians. Now unfortunately he's only got 3 legions. The Parthians have strength of 6, so that probably wasn't a good idea. I won't do it. He needs to gain some strength. What he could do is do a recruitment action, because he's in the Asian province. He doesn't control it yet, though. He needs to control it before he... you can recruit legions in Asia, but you would have to control it. So he needs a majority marker, so let's move in 1, 2. That's going to bring 2 on. What a fantastic general he is. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. No. 1, 2, 3. No, the trouble is, as attacker, you lose on ties, and with the number of SPs he has, he's only going to be able to inflict a 1, and they could possibly inflict a 2 on him, even with a special card. So he actually needs something added. But anyway, he's got that now. So he's got control of Asia. That gives 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4 to Brutus's faction, and that is their card play. So now it's Octavius. Again, he needs to get his guys into action and do something with these large armies. He has a large army here with Plancus, and a large army here with Decimus Brutus. Plancus needs to fight the Germans. It costs 3 points to activate him. But that's fine. He's got this Roman veterans at this event. He doesn't need any more legions recruited, so he'll spend those 3 up points, and Plancus is going to go 1, 2, so he spends an extra movement point to convert that space. 1, 2, just to ensure that he has a somewhere to retreat to nicely. 3 and then 4, and he enters the German space. So we will have combat, and I'm not going to show you tables because that's be a bit of faffing, but generally he's got a tactical rating of 1, so he can add 1, and the Germans have 5 SPs and he has 7 SPs, so he's on a higher column than them, so he could possibly get a 2, but he needs an 8 to get that, and he's only got 1 tactical rating. Is there a card that can be played? Otherwise, as the attacker, he's going to... No, so he's not going to win that. He needs much bigger force. I think then what's going to happen, in fact, is he's going to move back and unite with Brutus. And then they'll go out with 1 massive army. So 1, 2, 3 across the mountains, 4, and he finishes there. And then we go to Antonius stroke Antony. Now he's trying to put the pressure on Brutus. That's why he's taken fleets and generals over there. But his biggest force is still here with Antony. It's about time Antony went into action. And that is a good opportunity to hit out at Octavius. So Antony is going to activate. He's a 1 leader, so we only need 1 ops point for that. And he's got 2s and 3s. Wow. Okay, so he's playing that to activate Antony. He moves up there, up the Roman road, straight up into Perusia. And so Antony has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half SPs and a 3 tactical rating, and Agrippa has 1 and a 2 tactical rating. Okay, so I always use the Octavian with a lighter die. So Octavian gets 6, or Agrippa in the Octavian faction gets 6, 7, 8. Would I make him try to avoid battle? It's a bit late for that now. No. Okay, so he has a 6, 7, 8, which is going to be a 1 loss to Antony, but Antony on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. That's SPs. He rolls a 5, 6, 7, 8 himself. That's 3 losses. So Agrippa has all his fellows completely eliminated, and so we get a possible leader loss. So I roll the die for Agrippa. I get a 3, and I better just check. I haven't got that on the table yet. Should jot it down somewhere. If it's 1, the general is dead and gone. 2 to 3 is wounded and returned to play at the end of any faction's next recruitment phase. Okay, which is after all of these after all the strategy phases have happened. Okay, so Antony's got some movement points left, so he can actually siege as well. So I'll roll for that siege. That's a 3, and that's adjusted by the city. Some cities have an adjustment, but otherwise you can't adjust it according to your tactical rating. So we get a 3. That's 1-1. So the siege level goes up 1, having to double up some counters here. And he loses allegiance. Could be an auxiliary, but I'm going to make it allegiance because we want to whittle down our allegiance somewhat. So that is a successful play for Antony. So we go back to Brutus, and he needs some recruitment. So Dolabella or Venditus was going over to meet him. If we can play a 2, yeah, okay, he's going to play that. Well, that will bring Venditus. He can, that 2 SP, that 2 action operations points means he can activate this 2 strength fleet, which is carrying some fellows. 1, 2, and can they continue moving? No, because you just moved the fleet. Okay, I only activated the fleet, so yes, they can't continue moving, so they will just stop there. Octavius. A bit disqualified. frontals, both the gripper being knocked out. Now he's having to be wary of Antony. He was hoping to go to war against Brutus, but doesn't look like that's going to be possible. So he wants now Plancus to come down and join himself. Or he might actually go up and join Plancus because he's hoping to gain control of these areas. He does have a legate in general with 4 legions in Africa. He also is hoping to gain that. He does have a major campaign card, but he's going to save that for a bit later. Okay, for now, he's going to play that for the ops points. And move Plancus. That's quick down the railroads. 1, 2, 3. And he goes with Octavius. Okay. Antony responds with he's looking at grain shortage event, but he needs control of Africa and so forth. Ah yes, he wants this, so he can play this for 3 ops, and he gets a bonus which is a siege train. Place a siege train unit with any leader, so he's placing that with Antony. That's going to help in any sieges, and he could activate Lepidus with that. Lepidus could activate the fleet with Lepidus in it. I think he's going to activate Lepidus. No, he's not. He's going to use it for 3. Just for 3 to place 3 PC markers. 1, 2. So now he has control of Gaul, and another one in Pollentia there. So with control of Gaul, that gives him 2 victory points. It doesn't have Cisalpine Gaul, the province, because it doesn't have the majority there yet. Okay, so back to Brutus. So he's going to use 1 ops there to move. Dolabella is senior to Venditus, so if he activates Dolabella can go here, pick up Venditus, and now they've got 4 SPs between them, 1, 2, and then 3. Or, no, leave Dolabella there, Venditus activates, 1, because Venditus has a tactical rating of 3 when he fights barbarians. 1, picks up the SPs from Dolabella, and 1, 2, and then he will fight the Parthians there. So Venditus has +3. The Parthians, now another player can say if the Parthians try to move, avoid battle, and also if they want to intercept, but they're not going to, so we'll have a straight up fight. So Venditus is black, he rolls 3 +3, so that's 6, So he inflicts 1 SP, and the Parthians have 2 on the 6 is nothing. So he actually wins. The Parthians drop a level and they have to retreat. So they're a little bit different how they are dealt with, because if Venditus had to retreat, he would have to roll a retreat and would probably lose another SP, but he doesn't. So that is a success, and that space is converted. Okay, Octavius is now in a position to move into Rome, which Antony had foolishly completely vacated, but they'd have to siege it first. It's not going to fall immediately, so that's probably not a great idea. However, does he want to take Antony in the field? No, I don't think so. But he wants Decimus Brutus to get going. So he's going to... Okay, Decimus Brutus. Let's... oh, no, this one first. Fleet construction. So, for 1 ops point, he's going to activate nothing but place a control marker in Cisalpine Gaul, so it's not easily taken by Antony, and as a bonus he gets to construct a fleet, so we'll be rolling half d6, so that's rounded down, so that's 2, so you can get 2 fleets out of that. So I'll bring this one up to 4, so he's got 5 fleet points there, which will be plenty to bring the Brutus's forces over into Macedonia or Achaia here in a later activation. Okay, so Antony wants to continue that siege essentially, especially now he has a siege train. So he'll use this one. But he also needs to use this at some point. Well, there's no hurry because he keeps that. Okay, and he rolls a 6 plus the other modifier for having a siege. Okay, that must be a +1, I think. 6, 7, that's 2, so that falls straight away. So that's now converted to his control. And it costs 2 movement points to siege, so seeing he was activated, he's got 2 movement points left. So he can now move 1 and then with the other one convert this to. So now he is taking control of Etruria, seeing he has the majority in it, which is another 2 victory points. 1, 2. Okay, so back to Brutus. He's going to try and completely eradicate the Parthians. So plays that to activate the Ventidius, and he's the black rolls. Excellent. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is a catastrophic defeat. We don't need to check any more. So the Parthian army is completely eliminated. I have to check if they go back and if they come out again. I suspect not. Oh, And I think because you defeat a Parthian army, you get some dignitas for that, or at least some popularity. It is eliminated if it suffers a catastrophic defeat. And is permanently removed, and the victorious general is immediately proclaimed an imperator and has one popularity. So, well done, Ventitus. So we put this one popularity. That helps improve his chances for recruiting troops. And +1 dignitas to his personal dignitas. Okay. That also increases his general faction dignitas too, which is helpful. Okay. And I was going to play that surprise Praetorian Cohorts event, which gives him a +1 DRM, so that was in the mix there too. Okay, back to Octavian. So that's great, and that's converted. This is working out now for Brutus. So now Octavian plays his major campaign. So he can activate 3 armies or 2 armies in a special naval campaign move. Well, the naval campaign move is going to be into Apollonia here. And then that army still has 2 movement points left. It will spend 1 to convert that to Octavian's faction. And he could spend 1 more and go and fight M. Brutus, which I think he will. That is, after all, the point. He's leaving his fleets there, which is a bit dangerous because they're open to the Illyrians. Perhaps he should leave something behind, but no, he's going to have to hope for the best at the time being, that the Illyrians don't get moved, because I think he needs everything to fight Brutus. That is Brutus himself, isn't it? Decimus Brutus against Marcus Brutus. Well, Decimus has a die roll in his favour, +2. Marcus Brutus only 1. So 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half. He's not going to try and avoid. Okay, Decimus Brutus has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're both actually rolling on the same column, so it's just down to this. And has he got any special? No. And this guy hasn't got any cards he can play. Okay, so it's down to the die roll. So Decimus is the fair die. They both roll a 4. Okay, so Decimus gets 2. That's 6. So they both inflict 1 loss, and that means Decimus falls back in retreat. Which is not good. So on the retreat table he's now got 6 SPs, but he has more, no, he has less auxilia than the victory. So we get a +1 on this roll, more likely to lose. The 3, okay, still only loses 1 SP. 1 more SP and has to fall back. He'll fall back there, so that's okay. So that wasn't fantastic, not a complete disaster. So that was one of the major campaign. That was special naval campaign move and an army, and now he's got another army, and that will be this legate, who's going to move to here. 1, convert that. 2, and then 3 against the legate there. So he's left the siege. Now that's not useful. It's actually going to continue the siege, because that siege will be repaired once he leaves the space. Okay, so he gets 2 siege attempts with this 4 movement points. He gets 2, that's a nothing, and 5 gives him another siege point, and that's it. So he's taken Utica. Okay, still doesn't have the majority, but he's getting there. So that was Octavian's major campaign. And now, take those Parthians off, they won't be coming back. Now Antony. Really needs to move back to cover Rome, and perhaps even attack Octavius. Why not? Yeah, so he's going to activate himself. 1 and then attack Octavius. So even if he does fail, he will retreat back on Rome, so he'll have that covered. Does Octavius try to avoid battle? Yes, he does, because he's only got 1 SP. Oh no, he's got Plancus with him. Oh, he's got 6, 7.5. So no, he's staying to fight. Okay. Okay, so Octavius can't play anything but. He's got many surprise cards. I think he's going to play them. Or what this does, it gives him one that he can excuse Salvidienus Rufus that can only be played in a battle involving Octavian, which this one does. This is going to give him 3 shifts to the right, playing all these 3 cards. Okay. Which is maybe a bit crazy, but he's back on Rome, is quite happy for that. He wants to get Octavius out. So he's on 5, 6, 7, 8.5, and he goes all the way up to the 20, the highest column. And Octavius, 7.5, we said, is 3 columns below him. Octavius has +1, Antony has +3. This could be devastating. So Antony rolls 5, +3 is 8, which is 5 losses, 1 point pip off a catastrophic defeat for Octavius. So Octavius loses 5 of his forces. And he's going to keep his auxilia. His retreat won't be too devastating, he hopes. He himself rolled 1. +1 is 2. 0. So he inflicts nothing, so he has to retreat. He's now got 2.5 points left. He rolls 2. And he hasn't got more, hasn't got less auxilia, so that's no modifier. So he rolled 2. He loses another SP. He's going to move all his legions, and so now it's just him and some auxilia. He can move back to here. He can actually move further. He's actually going to move to Brundisium in case he needs to take refuge in the walls there. Because he could take refuge from the siege, from being sieged. In fact, I'll put him right inside the city rather than outside. Okay, so that was a magnificent victory for Marcus Antonius, but it cost him a lot in terms of cards. So Okay, so keep playing. So Brutus only got 2 cards left. Octavius 3. Okay, he's going to spend that to move Cassius. He's going to start converting spaces. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, which brings Syria back under Brutus's influence, which gives them 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Octavius is going to activate himself, 2 ox, roll for recruitment. He's got 2 popularity, so or I could bring Decimus Brutus back, some of his army anyway. Have to leave 1 point behind, which is a shame. No, I know what he's going to do. Okay, so we send, with that 2, we send 2 fleet points over. So Decimus Brutus leads fleet. Okay, so maybe Octavius will vacate Italy proper. No, but he needs to defend that. Yeah. Okay, so we're sending, with that we'll send up 2 fleets from this way instead of going that way. And Decimus Brutus with that can send 4 strength points over. Remaining behind with a few himself. Okay. And Antony. I could play a disaffection event. That looks not so likely, but to happen I could target a force. I'd rather activate Pompeius. No, not even Pompeius. We'll just put some control markers down. 1 here. So now they have, Antony has Cyrenica and 1 there, Paphos, so they will gain control of Cyprus soon too. Okay, so back to Brutus. I think he needs to place down some political control because he's going to have to spend a fair bit. So he's just going to spend 3 for that. Okay, concentrating on locating the populace. That gives him Bithynia and Pontus, another 2 victory points. Can he hold it though at the end of the turn when he has to reckon the cost for his armies? We shall see. And then so Octavian is the only one with cards left. He has 2 he can play. Storms and bad weather. That will move Brutus out. No, he's not using the event, so he's just spending the 2 points to move this fleet with Brutus and the few he has left. And fleets can move 6, so he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's coming around here, ready to move into Africa there. and then with the one that he has left, he can move this fleet out over to there. Okay, that is the end of the strategy phase. Now we go to the surrender phase. So what this is that anyone who's in the position, anyone who's currently still besieging, gets another besiege roll if they need it. I don't think anyone's besieging, are they? No. Okay. And also we check. So, like this fellow here, he converts the space to his faction. So subjugation and surrender, siege, etc. So we make sure that any generals are able. Yes. So, sorry, what that meant here was that Cyprus now passes to Antony, gives him another victory point. And that means this one is taken from Antony and given to Octavius. So now Octavius has Sicily, so he gets 3 victory points for that. 1, 2, 3. So everyone's in their teams in terms of victory points. But, and once again, and Brutus has taken the lead. Okay, I think we're fine with all of that. Conversion of Neapolis. So Campania goes, so, okay. So Gaius loses Campania, that brings him down to 9 victory points. And Antony gets 2 for that. So that's the surrender phase. Now forage and attrition phase. So if any armies are very big, let's check 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's fine because you can be 10 and not need to forage or retreat in a major city. And then 8 smaller cities. Just checking. These are all okay. Okay. Then political isolation phase. So now we need to check if there's any political markers that are kind of isolated, can't trace to another political marker, or some friendly strength points, i.e. generals, legates, or off strength points, garrisoning. For example, should have placed one here. So that can trace to him, so that's safe. Essentially means it's kind of like you check supply routes for the political markers, and so you could lose. Like here, if this was not here, this one would be lost, except that it can trace to a friendly port. But also, yeah, it can trace to the friendly port here. Otherwise, it would be cut off and would be removed from the map. Okay, they all look fine to me. It can go through neutral, so that independent one can trace to the Parthians there. Yeah. Okay, so we checked for the political isolation. Now for recruitment. So every general, if they're in a province that allows recruitment of legions, can do that. So for example, Pollio here can roll for recruitment. He is with Brutus. He doesn't have any special popularity, so we would just roll on the basic recruitment. The dignitas points of his faction is 4, so he's on the 4 column, then there's the 5 to 9 column and above 10 column. So on a 4 or higher he's going to get a legion, or if he goes for auxiliaries it's a bit easier, but he's in need of... No, he'll go for an auxiliary, which could help if he needs to retreat. Yeah. And that's 6, which gives him half a auxiliary, which is something, because it will be more than his barbarian foe, which is what he's up against there. Lepidus is also, Lepidus is with Mark Antony. He's got no special popularity. And he rolls a 5. He's going for legions. You don't have to do this because it could cost. In fact, I'll just count up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, he's not going for that. He'll go for auxilia 5. So he gets half an auxilia for that. He's got 2.5, so he's gone up to 3. Then we have Antony himself. Again, he's going to go for auxilia 3. And he's got popularity of 1, 2, 3, 4 because of various speeches he made in the Senate, apart from his own personal popularity. That's 7, so he's going to get a whole new auxilia fellow there. Decimus Brutus, they have control of Sicily, so he could try that. He has Caesar's will granted to him, so he gets +2. 3, 4, 5. He's going for legions, so he gets 1 with that. We can flip this one up to 2. Yes, Gaius definitely was going to try for a legion. He rolls 1, 2, and he's got 2 popularity, so whatever, so he's on 4. That just gets him. Oh, sorry, what's his dignitas? So if Antony's fellows had gone for legions, they would have been getting loads, but they just don't want to pay for it at the moment. Anyways, so Octavius gets 1. Brutus. So what's he on? 5. 5, 10, 11. No, he's not going to go for legions, but he will go for. That gives him a dignitas of 4. Oh, that gives him half an auxiliary. We're running out of auxilia counters, and I think that's a finite limit, but fortunately he's got half here he can flip. Oh, he's got 3, so I can swap that counter out. Dolabella can do so too. 6. That's going to give him a half an auxilia. Venditus, no. He's not in a legion recruiting province. Cassius, no. You could gain the fleet, but you don't do that in this case. Sextus Pompeius, there. It's not in a legion recruiting province. Okay, so that is the recruitment phase. Now the senatorial phase. So now they take turns in turn order to decide on a speech if they want to make a speech in the Senate. If they're unlucky, it could cost them political markers. They will remove them. But if like they go for bread and circuses, they can gain popularity. If they go for an ovation, they gain dignitas. Now, because someone attacked the barbarians, he could go for a triumph, which a triumph is going to give 2 dignitas. So Publius Venditus performed against defeated barbarians, so they're going to go for triumph. So they go first. So Brutus will roll. To get the triumph, you need to get a 6 or more. Plus 1 if you have the greatest number of generals in play, which he does, so he gets +1. Plus 1 if he controls Cicero, but that, or Cato in the Rubicon, but that is Octavius. Plus 1 if you have majority in the Senate, that is Mark Antony's privilege, and plus 1 if you control Rome and the supplies card. So that's very risky. The chances are he's going to lose a political control marker, so instead he's just going to go for an ovation. He rolls a 2. He gets +1, so that goes up to 3. Oh dear. It's a bit bad. He loses 2 political PC markers from that. That was rather silly on my part. Okay, so he loses those two, which aren't going to cost him anything this moment. Okay, next up is Octavius. Now, as I said, he has Cicero, which gives him +1. You could go for bread and circuses, which is fairly cheap. You can also do things like fleet, legion, centurion, proconsul. If you take certain regions and you get the proconsul, the senatorial proconsul speech successfully performed, you designate a proconsul to a province. You can put all PCs in that spaces that are not friendly, that don't contain an enemy unit, and then the generals move there. So Antony could possibly risk that, but you need to roll a 9 on the d6. Antony only gets +2. That's very risky. Leave that out. Or you could reverse the censure, which subtracts a dignitas point. You could yeah, okay. So, what is Octavian going to do? Gets +1. He's just going to go for bread and circuses popularity. So he rolls 2 + 1 is 3. No effect. Okay, and Antony doesn't really need any more dignitas, but he's got a lot of popularity. He should really go for a triumph, but he needs to defeat a barbarian army. If he goes for a triumph, that's going to give him more dignitas. So when he wants to recruit legions, then you'll find it a lot easier. What about fleet? He doesn't need any more fleets. And you can do that without having a fleet province. So he gets +2. There's a chance you can lose something. I think it doesn't need anything at the moment. Oh god, he's going to go for more bread and circuses. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's exactly what you don't want, because that is one loses province. Okay, that can be that one. That's not going to affect him. Okay, so that's the senatorial phase. Now the legion political upkeep phase. So you count the number of legions, not your auxilia, but just your legions. And I forgot, and it's in turn order, so it should be him first. I forgot to count the legates before. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You divide by 3 and round up, so that's 7. Then you have to lose that many PC markers. That is 7. That is a lot. You needed to lose some of these guys. It's a shame you can't just disband legions. Oh dear, terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's lost control of Bithynia, loses 2 victory points. That is the trouble with big legions, that's why you have to lose them. So now we go to Octavius. He has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's going to lose 3. Lose 1 here because he's... Oh no, he's got developing goal. Let's lose this one. 1. 1. 2. And this one. Okay, and then finally Mark Antony with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. That's his rotation, so he's going to have to lose 6. And if at any point you cannot remove PC markers, three, 4, 5, 6. If at any time you cannot remove PC markers, then you have to sue for peace, which effectively means you're out of the game. So he loses control of these, Cyprus and Cyrenica, so he's going to lose 2 victory points for that. Okay, and now we go for victory check. So we check for automatic victory and that suing for peace that I told you about. So if anybody has the highest dignitas and the highest victory points and controls the majority in the Senate and has control of Rome, so anyone who gets Rome, gets itself that province and city, gets SPQR, then you win the game. Now, Antony has control of Rome and he has control of the Senate, which was through card play, and he has the highest dignitas. Does he have the highest victory points? No, so the only person stopping him is this fella at the moment. So if Antony can knock down his victory points and keep his, he will win the game the next turn, provided nothing else changes. So that would be an automatic victory. Yeah, no one has to sue for peace, so we don't have to eliminate anyone for not having any PC markers. And so that is the end of the turn. We move to the next turn. Oh, and Agrippa came back in the recruitment phase, didn't he? In a friendly area, so he could have recruited, I believe. Okay, I'm going to put him up there, give him a recruitment role. 4. That gives him 1 legion. Okay. Okay, so and that is a turn, that is a game turn. That is how it plays out. That gives you some idea of the flavour of the game. I think it shows you how smoothly it flows. There's a few charts, but they're all very simple, just 3 or 4 modifiers each, so it's not difficult in performing sieges and combat. Very swift. The only thing that would take time is your decision making, and you can see there are awkward decisions to make, such as when to raise big legions, when to support your political base. And when you have big legions, you have to support your political base, but then you also need to be performing actions with those legions. So it's, or else why have you got those big legions in the first place? You could spend the whole game just retaining your political base to support your big legions. A fine balance to be kept, and then obviously the other fellows are doing terrible things too. So that is it. So there's 4 more game turns to play out, unless Mark Antony gains automatic victory, which is the position we are in at present. good. I hope that was enjoyable. Over and out.